A heat gun, that's what you need. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today's video is probably something that can be helpful potentially to a number of people, because this is something interesting. I found one video on YouTube that was kind of okay. I still hit the like button because it just basically gave me all the knowledge that I needed, or at least I hope it did. So I'm in the trunk now. Well, my camera is sort of in the trunk, and I'm going to talk about the what's called by the BMW an intelligent battery sensor, IBS, not ABS. That is the brake related. This is the IBS. In any case, my car developed some electronics issues, some electrical issues, some problems with the electronics. Something gave me an idea that this can be related to, well, I had a problem with the alternator. There is a video, if anyone wants to see it, or watch it, where I talk about the alternator issues on these cars. An IBS sensor is something like this. The most important part is this connector here. So this connector, what it is a 3-wire connector. One is, as far as I understand, one goes to this blue terminal plug that plugs into this over the battery terminal assembly, whatever you call it. And the other 2 wires are just gray and a green-red, smaller wires that go somewhere into the wiring harness. So you would think that you could just unplug this plug and replace this cable with the IBS and just go on happily with your life. But no, that's not the case here. I bought a replacement sensor. It's a used item, which wasn't expensive, so I figured that I would take my chances. So I look at the sensor that I bought, and I look at what I have, and they're basically not the same. The big cable and the battery terminal connection are the same. This plug, well, it's not the same, it's totally different. So these wires on my harness, they go into the harness and they just go somewhere into somewhere they just dive into the bigger harness. I thought that my IBS sensor was basically just like this, and this little plug was just buried somewhere in the harness, because this bigger one, the blue one with the red cable, which is plus, I think it's plus 12 volts for the, yes, that's the plus 12 volts. This big blue connector with a red wire that goes into the IBS, that's just plus 12 volts for the sensor itself, for the electronics of the sensor. The other one, this little one, is data. 2 wires, data plus, data minus, something like that. So my harness, in an essence, or connector, they don't have that. So I can basically plug this big blue connector into this block. But these 2 there is no place to plug them in. I went on searching for things, and I'm not the only one who has this kind of a situation. It appears that there was something with the production or engineering or whatever. According to that YouTube video, this is a HELA replacement unit. This is the original factory installed. Long story short, what I think that I can do, or what should be done, since this red wire with the blue connector can just plugged in into where it plugs in. What I can do, I can just cut these 2 wires, since it's just data, splice them, solder them, rub them up, and hopefully that will resolve the situation. That's basically what you have to do. I think that's according to that video. By the way, you can buy like a jumper cable that plugs into this harness, and it plugs into the IBS, the new IBS cable harness, and that's basically a perfect solution. If you want to do that, you can, I guess. It's just a few inches, like 5 centimeters, 50 millimeters or so. A short harness with 2 connectors on both ends, and you basically just, like I said, plug that in to here, which is still unpluggable. That's just a big negative cable. So in essence, you can unplug this if you buy the jumper cable, plug that into your existing connector, and the other end plugs into your new harness, or into your new IBS sensor. Like I said, in my case, I don't have time, I don't want to pay for anything else. I can just splice 2 data cables, 2 data wires, and that will do the same basically thing. And the other thing is, what I discovered is on this connector that plugs into my Where's my IBS sensor? So this was plugged here. So what I discovered, I don't think I broke it myself, but this plus, this red wire, plus from the battery, this thing just snapped off, and I don't think I pulled it and broke it. I kind of started to interrupt things, and then I noticed that the wire is just like that, out of the connector, out of the plug, and it's kind of broken right here. So what I could do, I could get the pins, extract this pin, crimp it onto the wire, plug it in, plug it back into my existing IBS sensor, and try that. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure that this IBS sensor that I have on my car is still good. Don't have time to experiment really. Since I bought this one, I'm going to try and use this one. It makes sense to try and plug this, fix the wire, plug this back in and see if anything changes, but I'm just going to go ahead and use this because I kind of have a feel that if this one doesn't work and I buy a replacement, it's going to be exactly like this, not like this, and I'm still going to I would have to deal with the same situation with the wires. So I better just fix it now, or do this, and then if I have to replace this again, I can just plug and be done with it. That's the plan for today. I'm going to cut these wires somewhere, splice this harness in. Like I said, the big blue plug with the red wire just plugs into the as far as the pin out. So one wire is I'm not sure about this. One is brown, the other one is yellow blue. On my harness, one is gray, the other one is white blue. On this one is gray and the other one is green red. So I'm assuming, and that's not a good thing to do, but I'm assuming here that the gray on both wires, harnesses, the gray wire is the same, whatever data minus whatever it is. Kind of guessing again. So I'm just going to splice gray to gray and the other two whatever that color is, and that's the plan. So in essence, this blue is just like that, and then this is going to plug here. So I'm going to just cut it here like this, so I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to I'm going to keep a part of this, just like this much, because this has a nice label sticker. So I'm going to run it this way, and I'm going to strip these two. I'm going to splice that into probably here, cut this off, strip this. Splice is not the right word. I'm looking for the shrink tube. That's way too big. I don't have the proper diameter shrink tube, so I'm just going to use whatever I have. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to solder them like so. Well, I have some rolls of tape. That's what I'm going to use. I guess I'm going to wrap this up, insulating tape. And then I'm going to wrap everything up with the BMW, whatever, cloth tape. This is the wrong way of doing this. Guys, get a heat gun. I have to get the heat gun. I'm wasting my time. I hate doing things the right way. A heat gun, that's what you need. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to install this. And I'm going to plug this in here. That's pretty much it. I guess I'll skip all this. I'm just going to, like I said, plug it all back in, and that should conclude the job, because it's going to be, now I'm going to spend time wrapping things up with the cloth tape, and that will take a while, and there's no point in filming it. So in an essence, this is what you have to do. Just either buy a jumper cable or just splice wires like this. And I spliced gray to gray, and I'm assuming the other one is one is data minus, the other one is data plus. So I'm hoping that this is a scientific guess. Don't know if there's a way to actually know if it works or not, but let's see what happens. So guys, everything is back in place. Blue plug is plugged. These wires are not the best looking, but they are kind of tied down. So now it's time to install all these pieces of trim, and maybe try to turn the car on and see if anything is different this time. So let's do that. So since I replaced that IBS sensor and reattached the battery and everything, so now it's time to start the car up. I guess here's a test. I did have a low battery coming on all the time, and my battery was charged and I was on a charger, and it was still coming up with a low battery. The car starts off and there is no codes. Well, I guess this is it for this video.